Dear ex, dear people from the past, actually, dear pain, I give you back to life. If you clicked on this video, you already know you're holding on to something or someone while pretending you're fine. Someone who doesn't choose you but wants you around for their needs. A situation your wisdom clearly tells you to leave, but your wounded child keeps hoping everything will change. I'm not your coach today, I'm your mirror, and I guide self-led back to their inner authority through truth, energy, and divine alignment. And I'm not here to tell you any spiritual sentences like everything happens for a reason. However, if you know me, I do believe that, but there is a way of holding that truth, knowing deep down that everything happens for your highest good while still honoring your boundaries and moving forward in life instead of thinking everything is love and light and you should just accept life how it comes in whatever way it comes. That's not wisdom, that is spiritual bypassing. Real wisdom knows when to stay and when to walk away. I'm here to wake you up to that difference, okay? Because I stayed too long believing in fantasies instead of truth. And you're doing exactly the same. Look, I know that you're tired. I know that you're confused. I know that a part of you thinks maybe if you just try harder, maybe if you're just more patient, more understanding, maybe they will finally see your worth. This can be in anything, okay? Your relationship, your job, in every situation or relationship. I'm going to talk more about the love, the partner, but you can copy paste the situation to your own personal experience, okay? So get comfortable. This energy will help you to activate your inner truth, your inner authority. We're going deep today. So here is what I learned the hard way. People don't change their minds about you. They change their circumstances, and you've been their circumstances for way too long. Here is the pattern I see everywhere. Maybe it's yours too. Someone tells you the truth about who they are, and yet you refuse to hear it. They say, I'm not ready for a relationship, and you translate it with, yeah, except with me. They show you they are inconsistent, and you call it mystery or depth. And they disappear when you're hurting maybe, and you call it they're giving me space. They're not lying, you're just not listening. Because people show exactly who they are from day one. But your inner child is screaming, please just choose me, so your wisdom get drowned in that fantasy, yeah? Here's what it looks like in real life. Just a simple example, okay? You text someone about something important to you. They respond maybe 3 days later with, oh, cool. Your intuition says, reality shows this person doesn't care about what matters to me, but your wounded self says, maybe they're busy, maybe they're not good with texts, maybe they don't know how to show their love. No, they just don't care enough, period. Or this one, you're going through something really difficult. You reach out for support, they change the subject or make it about them. Your wisdom, reality shows this person cannot hold space for my pain, but your wound says maybe they are protecting themselves. Maybe I was too much. No, they just don't have the emotional capacity for a real relationship. And truth hurts and truth shows. I've been there in relationships, friendships, jobs. I stayed way too long because I wanted it to be different, but it wasn't, because I was someone who would never give up. Turns out sometimes the best thing you can do is to give up, which actually means to choose yourself, because your wisdom knows, but your wound hopes. And you keep choosing want over truth. Here's what your wisdom is trying to tell you. If someone wanted to be with you, really be with you, you would know. There would be no confusion, no mixed signals, no wondering where you stand in a relationship, right? In his life or her life. Real love doesn't leave you second guessing. Real love doesn't make you feel smaller. Real love doesn't require you to betray your inner knowing. And again, you can apply this in many areas in your life. Okay, so the question is, but why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we ignore what is right in front of us? Because we are not just dealing with the present, my friend. We're dealing with every time we weren't chosen, every time we weren't enough, every time love felt conditional. Your inner child is running the show now, and that child is terrified of being abandoned again. So it makes deals. If you just love them harder, if you just need less, if you just prove, how amazing you are, then they will see your worth, right? But here's the brutal truth. You cannot love someone into loving you back. You cannot convince someone to choose you. You cannot earn what they should be given freely. Let this sink in and listen, because I'm not here to put blame on anyone, because sometimes people treat us in ways that don't align with where we are in life, and we can see them as mirrors. Like, what is this teaching me? What am I learning about myself? Because as long as you give them the fault, you're not growing and you stay in victim mode. But I believe you can hold both clear boundaries and the lesson for yourself. Maybe you can relate to this. You stayed in a relationship because they were sweet sometimes, but your core needs, safety, being seen, feeling important for who you are, not what you give, there's a difference. None of that was there. And maybe you connected to that idea of grounding, of finally building something together, a warm foundation. But your want was the connection. But with the right person, it will be amazing. But you were with the wrong person. And through your wants, you couldn't see the truth of your needs. And they weren't it. And this is where you can pray if that resonates, because that is what helped me. I said, God, show me if this is the right one. Because God always works for you, always provides for you. And sometimes the answer is, this isn't it, walk away. And, truth comes in life, and that is hard. And maybe you used to think that love was about persistence, about fighting for someone, about giving things up. No, real love isn't a fight. It's a choice. It's two people choosing each other every day without force, without convincing, without proof. It's that simple, period. And when you're constantly proving your worth, you are not in love. You're in audition. And you've been auditioning for way too long. The child in you thinks, if I just perform better, they will keep me. But the wisdom in you knows someone who truly wants me won't make me perform. This is why you stay. This is why you make excuses. This is why you translate their actions into something more loving than they actually are. Because leaving would mean accepting that you weren't chosen. And that brings up every wound you've ever had. But here is what I want you to understand. Not being chosen by the wrong person is not a reflection of your worth. It's protection. It's your intuition protecting you from what doesn't serve you for your highest good. It is God redirecting you towards what is truly meant for you. I promise. Okay, and maybe you recognize this pattern in your own life. Someone who's there when it's convenient, but disappears when you actually need them. Someone who makes your needs feel like burdens. Someone who gets annoyed by your humanity. Your intuition is telling you this person actually doesn't care about your well-being by showing reality. But your wound keeps making excuses. Maybe they're just stressed. Maybe they don't know how to help. Maybe I'm asking again for too much. No, you're not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. And every time you ignore that knowing, you abandon yourself a little bit more. You become a stranger in time to yourself. Because you stop trusting your intuition, you stop believing your own experience, you start thinking that maybe you are too sensitive, maybe you expect too much, maybe you are the problem. But my friend, you are not the problem. You're just loving someone who cannot love you back. And instead of accepting that truth, you keep trying to change the equation. The equation is simple. Them plus you is them getting what they need. There is no room for you in that equation, but you keep trying to make it work. The day you choose yourself, it won't be cute. It will be brutal. That happened to me. I was mostly mad at myself for seeing it, but staying anyway. And that is what hurts the most. How many times did I left myself behind just to keep being wanted? My intuition spoke to me. I ignored it, not because I didn't know, but because I didn't want it to be true. I was lying to myself. And if they show you the truth, like if they go cold when you cry, if they only want you when it's convenient for them, if you feel smaller around them, like tiptoeing around, that is your sign. One moment like that is enough. If you choose to listen to your intuition, I promise you will find the peace you're looking for. And now I'm about to share one thing that no one really talks about, and that was my biggest lesson in my life. Ignoring your intuition will cost you everything. It costs you trust in yourself, because every time you gaslight your own intuition, you believe yourself less. It drains your energy. Loving someone who won't meet you is like pouring water into a broken glass. And the worst part, you start losing your connection to your truth. You forgot how love is supposed to feel. You start thinking crumbs are the meal. And by accepting this reality for your truth, you're aligning yourself to a lower timeline than the timeline that God actually has for you now. And how do you recognize this, that you're on the wrong timeline? You will lose your voice. You will stop speaking up when something hurts. You learn to minimize your needs. You become the expert in making excuses for other people's behaviors. This is a major sign. You just lose your standards. Things that would have been deal breakers before become things that you tolerate. You adjust your expectation down instead of finding someone who can meet them. See, different timeline. Also, on this timeline, you lose your sense of reality. You start questioning everything. Am I too sensitive? Am I asking too much? Maybe this is just how love is. No, again, this is not love. Love doesn't make you question your sanity. Love doesn't make you feel crazy and doubt yourself and second guessing yourself every time. And what I keep telling myself, if I'm in a situation where I feel this is not in alignment for me, and if I stay, I lose my future, because every day I spend time with the wrong situation or wrong person is a day I am not available for the right one. Every moment I invest in someone who cannot love me is a stolen moment from someone who could. So instead of continuing and wishing and hoping, I choose to see it with clarity and choose the truth. If you continue, you will lose yourself. And maybe the worst part is you lose your ability to recognize real love when it shows up, because you've been living on crumbs for so long that you don't remember what real love looks like. Staying in the wrong situation does this to you. It rewires your brain to expect less, to accept less, to be grateful for less. But you weren't born to live on less. You were born to be fully loved, fully seen, fully chosen. Your intuition knows this. She or he's been trying to tell you. It's really time to listen to the truth and to your knowing. And in this moment of truth, I hope you finally find that clarity where you understand something so profound that you will never allow this ever in your life, that you realize it's your inner child who wants to be seen, who wants to be loved. But again, you're giving someone else the power over your worth. And when you finally choose yourself, I can guarantee you that this will happen. He will live in your head, or she will live in your head rent-free. But don't fall into that trap. Don't think that he's still in your mind because there is unfinished business or whatever. No, go back, write down all the things he or she did to you, and that is your truth. Because it will happen. You will think about how it should be, how he could be, how he was or she was. And then you will start lying again to yourself and you will get stuck in a loop. Okay? Your intuition is screaming so loud that you cannot ignore it anymore. You want to create space for your future job, for your future love, and they are not allowed to delay your life anymore. Do this after this video, or do this with me right now. Dear, fill out the blank space. I held you for too long, and now it's time for me to move forward. I choose my future, and with that, I give you back to life. So in that decision to let them go energetically, in that moment of I give you back to life, you chose you. And you made the decision that you're leaving the past, like all of it. The hope that didn't serve you, the waiting that drained you, the version of yourself that settled for less. You let everything in the past. because this is the moment that helps you after crying enough, after grieving enough, to truly let go, because you want to move forward. You don't want to keep going back to old patterns that maybe resonated with your inner child, but not with who you're becoming or who you actually are. You choose yourself now, and in the now, you choose your future. You choose to be someone who chooses themselves first and then attracts a partner who mirrors that energy, not the other way around. And you know what? You will look back in time and actually thank them. Thank your ex, thank the pain, thank the experience, not because it was good for you, but because it showed you who you are, it showed you your power, it showed you your worth, it taught you that you will never settle again. Because this is your power and this is your moment. This is where you realize you are not a victim of what happened to you. You are the creator of what happens next by making that decision now, by choosing differently now. You have the power to set new standards. You have the power to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your worth. That person from your past, they were your teacher, not your destination, your teacher. And now you graduate, you level up, you become someone who trusts their intuition completely, sets boundaries without guilt, chooses themselves, attracts love that matches their energy, never settles for crumbs again. You are powerful. You are in control. You have everything you need inside of you. Draw the line, loud, clear, and final, and say it out loud with me. I give you back to life. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for showing me my power. I choose me now. And then walk away, not with pain, but with power, with knowing that you are unstoppable, with accepting that you are meant for everything beautiful. Because this time you are choosing you. And that will align you to your new timeline. Because when you choose yourself first, the universe conspires to give you everything you've ever wanted. But this time with someone who matches your energy. Someone who chooses you back every single day. You're so much more powerful than you know. And this is your moment to remember that. This is your moment to claim it. This is your moment to step into your version of yourself who never settles again. After choosing yourself, trust the process and watch your whole reality change. Okay, you got this. I hope my video resonates. Let me know in the comments if it does. Like, share, subscribe. I just want to say thank you for being here and supporting me along my journey. Like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.